and I cannot believe how many fans this show has. Are you shocked at how much the series picked up?
Yeah, I think it's something that a lot of us have talked about it before, that we had a bit of an intuition that maybe there was something really special about this series. But when we first came onto the project, it was a little non-union web series. We were all non-union actors, and it just sort of exploded overnight. And we actually block shot, so we filmed two days and then had a 2-week period and then shot the next 2 days, because we used to film everything in 4 days. And in between that time, some of the episodes aired, and we got our first piece of fan art in that time off. And so we were all like, on set, we're like, what? I can't believe this is happening. And then it's just gotten progressively better and better since then. And yeah, it's really, it's wonderful. We're all so grateful and so thankful.
Give us a brief synopsis of what Carmilla is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So Carmilla is based on an original novella called Carmilla that was very much a cautionary tale of female sexuality. So it was about Carmilla, the vampire, who would lure young girls in, and they would think that they were in a relationship with her, but then it would end up that she was luring them into a trap. And so then we took that story and that concept and we flipped it around on its head and made it a really strong female queer story about love, essentially. And yeah, it's a story about a young girl, Laura Hollis, who is at university, and her roommate mysteriously goes missing in the first season, and then Carmilla comes in and is her new roommate, and they don't quite get along at first all together that well, but then they slowly begin to fall in love, and it's about their love, and then about all the shenanigans that happen around them, and mysterious things happen, and mysteries are solved, and it's really fun.
Awesome. And what do you love about playing your character, Laura?
I love Laura. It's been such a gift to have a character to work on year after year. It's something that you don't get the chance to do very often as an actor, and so being able to revisit a lot of the things that she's going through in her arcs every year, I'm realizing a lot of the things are very similar that she goes through, about letting go of control. And something that we really came up against this year is understanding that the things that you're working on in life, they're always gonna be there. They're never gonna go away. But the thing that I've been able to work on season after season, and now movie, is realizing that you just catch yourself quicker as you become older. You recognize your own behavior and you say, I'm doing that. And then you make the correction. And so it's been really great to see that character evolution of someone who is able to be more self-aware.
The movie is a continuation of the series. So where do we pick up here?
Yeah. So the last we saw of our characters in the end of season 3, they had just saved the world, casual day off. So they saved the world and from impending doom, and Carmilla has been turned magically into a human. So they're now faced together with this possibility of a future together that they didn't originally think that they had. And so now in the movie, we're 5 years into the future. So we've seen them grow up a little bit. We see them settled more into their life. They've been in a relationship for 5 years now. And then all of a sudden, Carm starts to have some symptoms of her vampire nature coming back. And so they have to deal with that. But it's great to have a look into these characters' lives down the road.
What's the difference between filming like this versus filming the web series?
Yeah, it's been such an amazing opportunity to be able to have coverage for this, because our entire experience with this project so far has been one single camera setup, a fixed camera, and it's been so great to expose their world a little bit more, see a little bit more into the nuances that you wouldn't be able to see just from a webcam, and also see them a little more private together, because it's not, on display for the world to see. So that's been such a gift. I feel like shooting multiple episodes within 4 to 5 days, as we learned to do, really prepares you for anything. So I feel like we went through boot camp for 3 seasons, and now they're like, now you're running the marathon, So it's still hard work, long days. We're still shooting a feature film in 14 days, but everyone works together so well, and everyone is hustling to make the best movie that we can make. And I think we've got some really magical stuff so far captured.
Final question, what do you think Carmilla brings to the screen that no other film has brought?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that Carmilla has been so successful is because we captured a lot of real life moments on camera. Because of the nature of shooting with only one camera, and sometimes only having 1 or 2 takes, a lot of the stuff that happened were mistakes. And that's very much how real life is. You know, people aren't verbatim, word for word, saying everything that's going through their head. They're flubbing things and dropping things and not communicating the way that they really want to communicate with someone. And that's what a lot of was captured in the first 3 seasons. And I think that people really respond to that because it reflects what's actually going on in their lives. People want to see real life on film. And so I think that's one of the reasons that it's become so successful. And also, you know, we didn't know that this was going to be as successful as it has been. And so we all went into it with heart and with wanting to tell this story. That was the most important thing. And I think because of that, so much was able to be seen. And I think people really love that and really responded to that. And so we're bringing that into the movie. And even though we have coverage now, we're still telling a story. So.
For those living under a rock, if you could tell us a bit about the premise of Carmilla.
Yeah, well, Carmilla originated as a digital series first. We've done 3 seasons of it, and originally it was a modern take on the Gothic novella that was written 25 years before Dracula. And the original novella was sort of this cautionary tale about female sexuality, and we took it and we made it this very empowering feminist piece. And all of our lead actors or lead characters are queer as well. So we kind of flipped it on its head, and we made it something that is more about a celebration of female empowerment and sexuality. Basically, season 1 starts off with Laura Hollis, our lead character and narrator, whose roommate mysteriously vanishes, and then I show up as Carmilla, as her new roommate, and mystery ensues, and then eventually we have a relationship, and by the end of season 3 we stopped the end of the world and I become a human again. I become a human again by magic. So the film basically starts 5 years after the end of season 3. I am now a human and I start to show signs of maybe becoming a vampire again. So the whole film is me trying to regain my humanity and figure out what the heck is going on, because I quite enjoy being a human after 350 years of being a vampire. It's kind of nice to go out in the sunlight and get a tan.
That's hilarious. How is filming proceeding with this film? A little bit different?
So this film is quite different. We actually have 2 camera setups, sometimes even 3, and that's because we are shooting it still on a very small budget, so that allows us to make up some time, but there's tons of coverage, so it's really nice to see these characters in a 3-dimensional way, because the original series very much felt like a play that was filmed. It was very much like, I always say, the rigor of theater and the pacing of film, because we would sometimes do things in one take, and we'd shoot 45 to 50 pages a day versus the 10 pages a day that we get on this film. So it is quite a luxury to actually get different takes and different angles and to explore our characters in greater depth.
Amazing. Yeah, I was so impressed with how, the webisodes were one take. I was like, this is unbelievable. It's like watching a play.
And sometimes they really were one-take wonders. Beyond the fact that it was one take without editing, sometimes we just did it in one. And then we had to move on.
Good for you. Now, the series has generated over 69 million views. Has the success of this whole franchise surprised you?
It definitely has. It's definitely surpassed my wildest dreams. I mean, it's funny, my co-star Elise and I have talked about this before, but we did, from the initial reading together, have this sense that there was something different about this project, and we sort of, for lack of a better word, felt this magic between us, and we had this idea that it was going to be something special, but I don't think anybody planned for it to be quite as big as it actually became. So it's just been an absolute dream. I mean, it was a tiny little web series that we shot. We were all non-union in the first seasons. We were just non-union actors, fresh out of theater school, shooting in this tiny little sweaty room, and now we're making a movie. It's crazy.
It's amazing, and you have so much fan support. Do you want to talk about the fans and also your Fan Choice Award?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, we would not be making this film without our fans. Part of our funding actually came from pre-sales of the film, so we are so, so grateful for all of the support that we have. They were really integral to even campaigning to get a second season and a third season, so we owe so much of what we do to our fans, and it really means a lot to me that I actually get to be part of a project that is creating positive social change. I'm a huge advocate for positive queer representation as a member of the queer community myself, but furthermore, even as just an ally, all of the actors on this show or movie now are just so happy to be doing something that really resonates with young people and is making a difference in the world and in the way that stories are being told.
Awesome. Let's talk about your character. What do you love about your character, Carmilla?
I love that my character Carmilla is a vampire. I have to say it's pretty fun. So it's funny because Carmilla is pretty upset about this whole potential revamping thing, but Natasha's kind of excited about it. So I constantly have to battle with my character because she loves being a human and she wants to stay human. She's not excited about these new cravings and things that are happening. But I have to say that it is quite fun. And also, it's such a gift as an actor to get to play a character that has had over 300 years of life experience, because that's a great challenge in itself. And it's so much fun to think about what that means and what she's seen and how she carries that weight. I mean, a lot of it is just generally, I play her as sort of someone who's just real tired. I mean, you gotta imagine that it's quite exhausting being around all these youngins all the time. And actually, when I was cast, our director Spencer said that I was one of the only people they believed had lived for 300 years, and I'm not sure if that was a compliment, but I'm gonna take it as one.
What do you love about working with Elise?
Yeah, so I met Elise at the Carmilla callbacks for season 1, and that's when we started working together. And then through our chemistry on Carmilla, which captured a lot of people's attention, we got to work on Slasher, which is on Netflix, and also Almost Adults, which is a film we did that's on Netflix as well. So that was both our first starring role in a movie, and now it's really cool because we get to share our second starring roles in movies together. And it's just such a gift because she's such a generous actress, and we really have this chemistry that is undeniable. Like, I don't think we appreciated how amazing it was until, we started gaining more experience, and I get to work with so many lovely actors, but there is something like really special about the way we work together. And now, of course, we know each other so well, so after a few years, it's just like coming home. That's how the coming back to the set feels.
What does Carmilla bring to the screen that no other series has brought? Because I think it really is a breakthrough. It's such it's a great concept and idea. And what do you think it brings to the screen?
Well, I think one of the most unique things about Carmilla is that the queer characters are the heroes and they are the main characters. I recently had the pleasure of attending a convention for queer women in media or actresses who played queer characters. And Elise and I went together, and we noticed that all of the other characters were either side stories or supporting characters, and they never were the main focus. And Carmilla is so different in the sense that we are breaking ground. I mean, here we are showing these characters where it's not just about their sexuality and their relationship. They are just these teens and young adults solving supernatural mysteries, but oh, hey, they happen to be gay, and that's okay. It's in fact, it's more than okay. It's great. And so I think, I don't know, that's just what makes Carmilla so charming as well.